My name is Alan Nobbs. I'm here because for my sins I'm one of the organisers of this reunion of old Lotus workers. Well, they're not all old, but most of them are old. Along with an amazing number of Lotus Cars owners who come along to set the background, set the scenery and entertain us basically. A lot of people said, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could all meet up again? And it's about twice as big this year as it was last year. And last year was twice as big as the year before. And so if Lotus is here, we will definitely be back next year if they'll have us. And I love the early cars. I'm a Lotus enthusiast. I was a Lotus enthusiast long before I ever came to work here.
My name's Simon. My involvement with the Lotus Remembered reunion mainly has been organising the cars, getting 50 Esprits, or helping to get 50 Esprits here with the help of Matt Oxley. And then of course we've got a vast array of cars from Elises right back to Elans, Emiras, Evoras, pretty much a cross section of every model really. My personal involvement with Lotus dates back to probably the early 70s. I remember coming out of a sweet shop and seeing a Grand Prix edition Lotus Esprit in black and gold, and my knees sort of went a bit weak really. Since then I've been a lifelong fan.
Hi, Mike Kimberley, ex-CEO, Managing Director of Lotus Cars, and then CEO of Group Lotus. Well, it means it's tremendous for all of the people who worked at Lotus, not only Lotus Cars but Lotus Engineering, people who worked out in the marketing, sales areas all over the world. We have, as you know, a marketing and sales organisation that covers every country in the world, and the cars that we design and engineer and develop are homologated to sell in every country of the world. And what it means today is that all of those people who worked at Lotus over the years, since it was started by Colin Chapman, have the opportunity to come in, see the cars that have been produced right from the very first car that Colin produced, the production car, which you can see out there, and look at the cars in sequence if necessary, right through the ages, that have given so many people so much enjoyment, such a thrill. Lotus has always been preeminent for the vehicle dynamics, the ride and handling standard of the whole world, and from a performance point of view, high performance with not only vehicle dynamics, ride and handling, but also the cachet of very high performance. I think for everyone who's turned up today, this has been going on now for 4 years. We have a great team of guys under Alan Nobbs, who started up Lotus Remembered as one of the social media platforms. And there are over 1,000 members of it now. And all of those people who have worked at Lotus have the opportunity to come back here once a year, thanks to the goodwill of Lotus Cars, Group Lotus, to be able not only to see all of the cars that have been produced and give the owners so much enjoyment, but also be able to see what Lotus is doing today. So they're able to take a trip around the factory and they're able to see Lotus as it is at this moment in time. So with the very, very latest products, like you've seen the Emira, of course behind me here you can see the Evija, which is the absolute supercar, hypercar we call it, of the future. Well, for me, it's tremendous. I live close to Hethel, and I'm privileged in the fact that I do meet occasionally with some of the executives and staff here because I just love Lotus, and I started in September 1969, a long while ago now. And then I moved on to GM in January 1992, and then I eventually came back in 2005 to 2009. So to me, Lotus is part of my bloodstream. If you cut my arm, you'd see green and yellow blood. So to me, it means everything. It's something that I love and live.
Well, first of all, thank you very much indeed for turning up. Very good of you all to come along to another of these wonderful Lotus Remembered events. And Nobby, when he's finished eating his pizza, will hopefully materialise, and we can all give him a round of applause for putting on such a wonderful event for us all. Two of the special events today, one of which is judging the People's Choice for the Lotus Esprit, which we'll announce shortly. But the real headline act is to choose the Concours d'Elegance for the Lotus Éclat, and we are surrounded by illustrious judges, and the head judge, as in Strictly Come Dancing, is Simon Wood. So I'm going to hand it over to Simon to tell you about the judging. Simon.
Thank you, Patrick. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, we were given a difficult task to do. Obviously, you've had a chance to look at some of the cars. And although they're all different, there's a remarkable similarity, of course, between them, which has made it difficult because of the age of the cars and the condition of the various versions. Just briefly to thank my judges, that's Steve, Brian and Chris, who went through. We did come to a unanimous decision on the answer. And I must say also that the owners of the vehicles, who were very helpful and keen and enthusiastic to take us through what they knew about their vehicles, was just infectious. It's an infectious enthusiasm that people have for these vehicles, which was lovely. I found that the design really of the car, considering it's 50 years old, its 50th anniversary, is still remarkably current and sharp, especially with the interior, has like just a classic feel about it. So well done all those people that brought cars along. Thank you. So the winner of the concourse is Pete Paulton with the Sprint OBF 2R. I can. I can see him and his grandson coming to the front now, and we'd like to say that really, I think this was tremendous. The car has been in a very long ownership. You gave a good story about it. I think the fact that you're handing it over to your grandson who drove it here today was really good. It's a very original vehicle in very nice condition. And also, we recognise that there were very few Sprints that were made at the time, and it's so lovely to have one in really such original condition, still a hand-painted labelling on it. So, congratulations. Mike's going to hand you your award.
Beautiful. Right.
Yeah.
And
well done.
And I'm glad you're here today.
Fantastic.
And then we have an outstanding award for the car that didn't quite come to the same level as we felt on the Sprint. So the outstanding award goes to an example of what we felt was an Éclat, which was just the quintessential sort of 80s or late 70s, early 80s car. Very typical of the design of the period and the colour, and had an interesting history. And that car belongs to Alan McKenzie and his FBC 467T. Well done.
Again, thanks. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Would you like this, Alan? Take it for that one. Okay.
Yep.
Let's keep it safe. We'll get some more stuff. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. And could I ask for a round of applause for the judges? They spent 2 hours. And Simon was very glib introducing the judges. They are all absolute experts on the breed, having either designed or modified or adjusted or fixed the Éclat in its era, in its prime. So these cars were judged by people who properly knew the origin and the development of the car. But before I leave the Éclat, I just wanted to ask Mike one question. Is it true that the Éclat was the second name for the car? It wasn't the original choice of the name for the car?
That is true.
Do you want to tell us what the original name was, Mike?
No.
Anybody here like to know what the first name for the car was? Yes. And anybody here like to tell me what the name was that was originally chosen and then changed? There is more than one person in the room who knows the answer. Oh, you're all being very shy. So I joined Lotus in 1976. So it was after the car had been named the Éclat. I was told that all the handbooks were printed and all the name badges were printed with the word Elan, E-L-A-N-D. And for one reason or another, that name was changed. Anybody an expert on African antelopes in the room? An eland is an animal that goes fast, but only for short bursts. So we chose the name Éclat, which, as far as I know, means explosion, which is clearly much better.
Could never be pronounced, though, in certain countries.
No, but we do say Éclat because we're from Norfolk, so that's the right way. So, thank you very much indeed to everybody who brought their beautiful cars along to celebrate this anniversary, and for allowing everybody to pick holes in your beautiful cars. And now we move on to the people's choice for the Lotus Esprit. And I'm sure you will agree that we have been given a wonderful selection of cars to look at. And I have to say the people's choice was very difficult to start off with, because there are so many different cars that people have chosen as being their preferred one. However, there were two cars that clearly were head and shoulders above the others as far as you, the judges, were concerned. And the car that came second, which we don't have a prize for, but I thought you might like to know.
We might find a prize. We'll try.
Is a car which is a orange GT3, registration P22 SPY. Good choice, incidentally. Good choice.
There will be a prize. We'll see to it. There is a
There will be a prize. So where is the owner of P22 SPY? Good. So
Good man.
you make sure you stick close to Nobby before the end of the day.
We won't forget. You will get a prize.
There you go. So, and the winner, I have to say, by a reasonable margin, is an Esprit.
No.
Shock horror. And it was variously described as different colours. One of the slips said it was white, another one said it was silver, but the registration is KCX 850S.
Yeah.
So is the winner of, where is the owner of KCX 850S? Well done.
You always do this, don't you? Congratulations.
I'd just like to say a word about this. And a large percentage of the reason that you have that fantastic display of cars out there, the Esprits, is down to this man.
Yeah.
So
Well done.
well deserved.
Well, there is a supplementary prize for the first place, thanks to a chap called Christian who buttonholed me a few hours ago and said, I've got something I want you to give to the winner of the Esprit, and it is a very unique game, a limited edition game, and there are only, I think he said, 100 copies. Christian, you were around anywhere? Yes, I'm here. You're here. So, Christian, I'm awarding your prize to the owner of KCX. Thank you very much, Christian. Well done. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah. Now, we did say that this was about celebrating Lotus, and of course it is. It's a wonderful way to celebrate. And of course, we all know that Lotus has had its ups and downs, and it's having an up and a down at the moment. But one thing that somebody asked me half an hour ago, what is it that's really special about coming to this place, to coming here for Lotus Remembered? Is there a car that's special or a person that you've met? And the thing that struck me is the passion of all of the people, whether you are an owner or whether you're somebody who's worked at Lotus and made the effort to come back here today, because this place, these cars, mean so much to all of us. And I think one of the main reasons that we're all here today is this young chap standing on my right. And
Come on.
I had the pleasure of trying to manage Alan several years ago. Gave up on that and got promoted or demoted or something. I had to find a way of getting away from having the responsibility of looking after him. I would just say that for me, and I'm going to hand over the microphone in 2 ticks, but I just wanted to get my bit in. He has been behind making Lotus Remembered what it is today, in memory of John Mountain. I think that's fair to say, isn't it? Yeah. John was the originator. And Nobby has brought it to where it is today. And I've already sort of given the game away by saying he's bloody impossible to manage. His persistence knows no bounds. And he will just, clear obstacles out of the way. But I cannot think of a better person to have put this all together. And I cannot think of a better person to build a twin cam or rebuild a Lotus Elan or to rebuild a Renault Formula One engine. There aren't many people who've been allowed to get their hands on a Renault Formula One engine, which is a measure of this man's expertise, care, attention, and dedication.
Is this live? I hate microphones. Look, I didn't do this alone. All these guys have sorry, I have to keep it. All these guys have done so much to make this event happen. You know, it was never me. It's never about me. A lot of it is about all the wonderful owners who come every year. The first year we did this, I said, my bit of this year, I'll get you maybe 40 cars here. And I knew 40 people with Lotus, you know, who I knew would come at a drop of a hat. And, well, you know, it's just gone gangbusters since then. I know I'm not doing this right, but I hate it.
You're okay.
Anyway, so, you know, if I'm anything, I'm only a figurehead of a whole gang of people.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Nobby. So do we think we ought to do this again next year? You have your mission. Your mission, Nobby, should you choose to accept. Just to say thank you very much indeed to everybody for coming along today. I know some of you have come from abroad, a long way away, and it's just a measure of what the attraction of this brand, I hate calling it a brand, it's a company, it's a family, it's a bunch of people who were able to rise to unknown challenges and achieve incredible things. And I hope that the company will go on doing that for years ahead. But in this room today, there are lots of people who made Lotus what it is today, and I include the customers in that as well. So thank you very much for your support. Keep buying lots of spare parts for your cars, and there are plenty of Emiras out there as well. So enjoy the rest of the afternoon, go home safely, and we hope to see you all again next year. Thank you very much indeed.
So all in all, they're able to see today all of the ex-Lotus staff and visitors and their wives and families. They're able to see the achievements of Lotus and what Colin Chapman initiated. And it is a very, very, very impressive site.